Your name tag's on the table. If you can't read, you're already in trouble. Buddy, let's sort and see if you will. I'm going to teach these fellows how to use these microphones and then you're ready to go. If y'all will find your seat, we'll try to get started close on time. I can highly recommend the lemon water. I'd like to highly recommend the cookies, but I haven't had one yet. Miss Jessica, kick this thing off.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Goodale, the Executive Director for the Dickinson County Economic Development Corporation. I just want to welcome you all here today, and for those who are not aware, the DKEDC absorbed the Abilene Area Chamber of Commerce about 4 years ago, and then we therefore kind of became a county-wide Chamber of Commerce. So when the idea arose of having a countywide candidate forum, we felt like we were a very good host because we are a nonpartisan countywide community group. So we have with us a very experienced moderator, Dennis Weese. And I just also want to thank all of our candidates that are here. They're all doing a job that many of us could not and would not want to do. They are very humbly serving in a public forum and running for office in a way that very few can. So we are hoping for a very well-behaved evening, and we are just going to thank you ahead of time for being a quiet audience and listening to what our candidates have to say. Dennis?
Thank you, ma'am. Also, thank you, Gina. Sand Springs venue, what a place, is it not? Being hosted by the Economic Development Board of Dickinson County comes with some free advertisement time, and some of my questions we'll be talking to candidates about their views on business. But I want to say, for people that are looking how to grow rural small business, you're setting in it. It's called hard work, sweat, a vision, and just following through. And so there's a lot of economic value flowing through this place. An idea, an action plan, and just getting it done. Welcome, gentlemen and sheriff candidates. I've shown you how to use your microphone. We're going to let you be introducing yourself. We'll start with Jerry on the end, and then we'll go to questions. Jerry Davis, it's yours.
I am Jerry Davis. I'm the current sheriff of Dickinson County. When I took office in January of 2021, I began a rebuilding campaign. At times it has been rocky, but we persevered. I began rebuilding the agency and developing a staff that worked together well, got along well, and most importantly, trusted each other. That trust in each other is evident. There's a sense of calm at the sheriff's office that has not been there for years. This was not accomplished alone. Each and every staff member comes to work every day, is dedicated and truly cares about their job and those they serve. The sheriff's office could not be where we are without these great individuals, and they should be recognized for that. We are also rebuilding relationships and trust with our fellow law enforcement partners. This trust and cooperation not only benefits our respective agencies, it also fosters a mutual respect and trust that has been absent in the past and continues to grow every day. We have a young agency. While this can be challenging at times, it is also hugely rewarding to be able to mold these young deputies into what we expect our agency to be. One of the things I am most proud of is the character of each deputy and how their character continues to evolve. The deputies are motivated to continue to learn through training and experience. We all recognize that we don't do it perfectly all the time, but all members work towards making our agency one of the finest. We continue to strive to gain the trust and respect of those we serve. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our office and detention facility staff. These folks are special. They are committed to ensuring the Sheriff's Office runs effectively and that the safety and security of our facility are maintained. I tip my hat to them. One of the guiding principles I let guide me and what I instill in our staff is based on a simple principle, and that is this. Every decision we make, individually and as an agency, has to be based on what is in the best interest of those we serve, and what is the best interest of the agency. Ladies and gentlemen, I began my career with the Sheriff's Office on November 1st, 1989. Everything I have done throughout my career has contributed to my character. You've had 35 years to evaluate me, my values, my beliefs, and my character. I am who I am. I believe I am the candidate with the experience, knowledge, dedication, maturity, and character demanded of this position. I know I'm the right person to continue what we've built and to continue to serve as your sheriff. I ask for your support on August 6th. Thank you, and keep moving forward.
I forgot to tell you, the only one you can clap for is me. So, Kalen Robison.
First off, I would like to thank Sand Springs Venue and the Dickinson County Economic Development Corporation for hosting this event tonight. Also, thank you for everybody for coming tonight and getting a clear view of everyone's perspective that's running for Sheriff and County Commissioner. For those that don't know me, I'm Kalen Robison. I was born and raised in Dickinson County. I've been a lifelong resident of Dickinson County. I'm a Republican candidate that's running for Sheriff of Dickinson County. I've been married to my wife, Tara Robison, for 14 years now. We have 3 beautiful children, Tinley, Kipton, and Tripp. I started my law enforcement career in 2003, starting out working in the jail. In 2006, I was promoted to work as a patrol deputy, working the road. During my time with the Dickinson County Sheriff's Office, I worked patrol, and I was promoted to a canine handler, and promoted to the drug enforcement unit. In 2019, I accepted a position with the Gary County Sheriff's Office as a canine handler attached to the criminal interdiction unit. Shortly after 2019, COVID hit, made me find that I missed my hometown and I missed Dickinson County. In 2021, current sheriff asked me to come back to Dickinson County, where I was assigned as an investigator with the criminal interdiction unit. In 2022, after 19 years of law enforcement experience, I felt the need to resign from the Dickinson County Sheriff's Office due to internal unethical issues that I believe was taking place. Since resigning from the Dickinson County Sheriff's Office, I have owned and operated businesses within Dickinson County, but have since sold those businesses. While I'm out on the campaign trail, the question I frequently get asked is, why do you want to be sheriff? I believe being a sheriff is an honor and a privilege to serve the community and not an entitlement. When my law enforcement career started right out of high school, I chose to start as a jailer. And on my day off, I rode with many deputies and police officers throughout the county who taught me what it takes to be a respectful deputy. The dedication and knowledge I have learned from my mentors would help confirm my commitment to public service. Lastly, I truly care about Dickinson County. I quit one job to come back to this job in Dickinson County. I dedicated 19 years of my life to Dickinson County public service. I feel that I would bring in fresh ideas if I was elected to Dickinson County Sheriff, which would benefit all of Dickinson County. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kalen. Lynn Battishill. Can you hear me good? First, I want to thank the DKEDC also for organizing this event and also for the Sand Springs venue for hosting. This is a really beautiful place, and also to Dennis Weese for moderating for us. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Lynn Battishill. I grew up in Chapman, Kansas, where I've lived pretty much my entire life. I live there now with my wife and my 4 children. I graduated from Chapman High School in 2009, and immediately after that I went to Alaska where I commercial fished for 6 seasons. I spent my first 3 summers up in Alaska as just a regular deckhand, crew member, doing regular duties. And after that, I was promoted to captain of my own boat. That's where I got my first real taste of leadership. I had to work in an extremely harsh, dangerous environment. It was where I learned critical thinking skills and decision making and fixing problems, because it could literally mean life or death for myself and my crew. So after that, in the off season, I went to K-State University. It's where I met my wife. We had our first child, and I decided that I didn't want to be so far away from my family, and I always had an interest in law enforcement. I applied for the jail position at Dickinson County Sheriff's Office. The current sheriff believed in me and hired me as a road deputy. I started at Dickinson County Sheriff's Office in 2015 in the beginning months. I excelled rather quickly, and I was made an FTO, which is Field Training Officer. I was sent to training where I was certified in that. I came back and helped implement an actual FTO program where we documented, trained, and made sure those guys that were being trained were actually ready to go out on their own on the road and do things the right way. I continued doing that, took on a few more responsibilities such as range master, firearms instructor, active shooter training, things like that. I did that for a while and then was promoted to investigations. I worked as an investigator for close to 2 years, up until the 2020 election, when I decided I was going to leave with the current sheriff, Gareth Hoffman, and I left the sheriff's office in January of 2021. I opened my own business in Chapman, Kansas, mechanic and welding and fabrication. It's still open to this day. Currently, I work for the city of Chapman full-time, and after I get off work in the afternoon, I go and work at my shop and take an active role in my kids' lives as well. We have multiple baseball teams, and I coach one of them, so I'm sure a lot of you here can attest to how busy your summers can get and stuff like that. I'd like to go over a couple of bullet points here, things that are important to me that I just want to get across real quick. The first and foremost thing is providing an impartial service to the law with the utmost respect. I'm out of time.
That's all right. We have more of it coming. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for studying for the office. I've got some questions I'm going to ask individuals. I've got some questions I'm going to ask all of you to go through. So we'll get started. I'm going to start with you, Jerry. What do you hear about taxes and spending as you campaign?
I don't hear a lot from the public on taxes and spending. I hear most of that from people giving me feedback from Facebook posts and stuff like that. Budget is a critical part of being sheriff. It's also one of the most difficult things to do because you're trying to predict the future. But it's not about budget. Budget is just a framework that you have to operate under. What it is it's about what you actually spend. So I can set a budget that is much higher than what I actually spend. What most people don't know is the majority of our budget and the money we spend comes out of salaries and wages. About 86% of my sheriff's office budget is wages and salary. Now that's just not pay, that's benefits, insurance, retirement, that type of thing. 82% of the jail budget is salaries. Each year, from 2021 to 2022, I had a 2.8 increase, and she's telling me to stop. But in 2023, I had a 0.46% decrease in my spending from the previous years. I'm done.
Now you better pay attention to the lady with the sign. It's got a wood backing on it should she need it. Lynn, the next question goes to you. What is your view of the overall cost of law enforcement in Dickinson County?
The overall cost? Well, that's a good question, Dennis. I think the most important thing to think about is, are the citizens getting the value for their dollars being spent? Sorry, can you hear me? I think the citizens, we need to ask ourselves, are we getting an overall value for the dollars being spent? You know, if the budget has increased $600,000 in 4 years, are we getting $600,000 worth of better service? We have to ask ourselves that. And I'm not scrutinizing the way money's being spent by any means, but I'd like to take a look at that and make sure every expense being made is asking the question, does this help us help you? Does this provide actual value to the citizens? Not just the fanciest new things. We do need to evolve with the times, but not just spending money for money's sake.
Thank you. Kalen, what kind of crime is on the increase and what kind of crime is on the decrease?
I just looked at the KBI statistics that came out here not too long ago, and still burglaries, thefts, they're still on the increase. They're always going to be. Like I told people while I've been out talking to people, if we have a drug problem, you're going to have a burglary problem, you're going to have a theft problem. So to combat those problems, you've got to get the drug enforcement units, the deputies, and the investigators to work together to combat those problems. That's it.
I try to reverse the order here a little bit so you guys know what I'm doing. Lynn, what are some ways that we can reduce crime in Dickinson County?
The ways we can reduce crime? Well, I believe first and foremost, combating it before it even happens. I think one of the most important things to remember law enforcement and their efficiency and how they work is the lack of crime instead of the citizens seeing us combating that. So if we can get out and do more rural patrols, make our presence known, I think that's one of the most effective ways. And also building a community relationship, building the public's trust. That way we can have them on our side because in all reality, we're a team with the community. And that's a very important thing, to have relationships with the community. And getting things before they happen is a big deal. So increasing our overall efforts to get out there and combat our presence and other initiatives that we can do to strengthen our enforcement.
Thank you. Kalen, what is the level of technology, tools, and training for today's law enforcement officers compared to 10 years ago?
What are the levels? Well, shoot, 10 years ago, they went to the moon and back. You know, we have body cameras now. We have tasers, drones. Drone is a big thing that I think helps law enforcement in this day and age, from keeping officers' safety to looking for missing people. But one thing technology-wise is, as a sheriff, you need to learn to adapt and grow with the technology. And like Lynn said, it's not that we need the best thing out there at all times, but we need to stay up with technology.
Back to Jerry. How does one meet the need for the quality of personnel, equipment, and training in Dickinson County law enforcement?
One of the first things I did after taking office was trying to establish a set hiring process, trying to get the most qualified individuals for the position. That starts with a written test they have to go through. Then there's an interview board that consists of 3 to 4 people, excuse me. Once they go through that and make it through that process, they come to me. I can interview the prospective recruit. Then we start the background investigation, which right now, our background investigation, I believe, is more thorough than it has ever been. I know Under Sheriff Vaughn has gone and spent a lot of time just reviewing one individual's personnel file from another agency. We also put them through a computerized voice stress analysis test. We put them through a whole rigorous process, which we didn't have before. I believe we are picking the best and most capable officers for the positions.
Kalen, since Dickinson County made national news in 2022 with a targeted stop on I-70, what are your thoughts on civil forfeiture laws and the changes made to the same this year by the Kansas legislature?
Good question. That was my case. If y'all don't know, I was a deputy that made that traffic stop in 2022. I can't speak much about that traffic stop because it was taken over by the DEA. So I'm not going to speak about it. I think it's all said and done, but I'm not going to talk about it. Civil asset forfeiture, I haven't even really looked into that new case yet. So I really honestly can't sit here and give you a good opinion about it, and I won't. If I haven't studied it, I'm not going to give you a good opinion about it. When I was in the position with the criminal interdiction unit, there was some light loopholes in the asset forfeiture statute. But what it looks like now, I can't tell you.
Jerry, in the last election for sheriff, one of the issues focused on was patrol time on rural Dickinson County roads versus I-70 interstate patrol. How's it going? What's your view today?
Okay, road patrol now, we have 2 deputies and 1 supervisor on each shift. Those deputies are dedicated to patrolling the county, which is something that we didn't have before. I've actually had folks call me and to ask me what was going on in their neighborhood, their part of the county, because they saw deputies there. And they thought if a deputy was there, something had to be going on that was wrong. It was just a deputy getting familiar with the county and working and doing his job. I've got 2 dedicated individuals that work interdiction, but they also work local drug enforcement cases. They spend the majority of their time trying to intercept loads of drugs, trafficking. What's changed now is it used to be local drug dealers that were selling the drugs. We still have a little bit of that, but most of it is brought up by the cartels now, which is methamphetamine and fentanyl. And they work with their local, state, and federal partners and develop cases nationwide. One of our deputies just received recognition at an awards banquet in Salina for his efforts in taking about 120 pounds of methamphetamine off the streets.
Thank you. All 3 of you on this one. Lynn, we're starting with you. What other community service organizations do you belong to, or what other community activities do you serve people in today?
Well, like I already mentioned, I help coach my son's baseball team, and I'm active in that. I help out and volunteer down at the baseball fields and try to clean stuff up and fix fields and stuff like that. I belong to Emmanuel Church here in Abilene, and other than that, with my schedule and how much I work, I don't have a lot of time for other activities outside of that, but that about sums it up.
Kalen?
I have a 10-year-old boy. He keeps me busy with summertime. It is rodeos that we travel to. But I'm a part of Pheasants Forever, Dickinson County Pheasants Forever Committee. Been on that committee for the last 2 years. I think that's a great organization. It gives so much back to the community, especially the youth. If any of you have read my bio, I'm really big on community policing, dealing with the youth, getting involved with the youth. I'm also a part of the Wild Bill Hickok Rodeo Committee. We have that coming up at the end of the month, so we're really busy trying to get things going there. But when I'm not dealing with the Wild Bill Hickok Rodeo Committee or Pheasants Forever Committee, I attend my son's, everything my son has going on, from baseball to he's a sheep fighter to anything that he has going on.
Jerry?
I'll try to talk fast so she doesn't throw something at me this time. As far as community outreach for the sheriff's office, either me personally or one of my deputies is involved with the Dickinson County Recovery Court, that's the drug court, the Dickinson County Cares Coalition, the Dickinson County Court Community Advisory Board, the Dickinson County 911 Advisory Board, the Dickinson County Public Health and Wellness Coalition, the Harrington Court Community Advisory Board, the 8th Judicial District Corrections Advisory Board, Crime Stoppers, I take tips personally 24 hours a day and make sure that they get disseminated. We're with Safe Kids Dickinson County. Abilene High School Law Enforcement Pathway Advisory Board I'm a member of. I'm a member of the Local Emergency Preparedness Committee. As far as community outreach, we have a Faith and Good event that we had for 3 years now, first in Abilene, last year in Harrington, this year it'll be in Chapman. We do fishing with first responders for the first time this year. We had 50 kids from 5 to 18 years old who took fishing. And Badges and Birdies, this is a fundraiser for kids in crisis. It's a tournament involving small.
Thank you, sir. Lynn, this one's for you. What level of cooperation exists with the law enforcement of the cities of Dickinson County? And what are your thoughts about that? How are we doing in that regard?
I think the current sheriff's office has good cooperation with both Abilene and Chapman police departments. Admittedly so, it's better than it had been in the past. Their current relationship with Harrington PD is not good in the slightest. Talked to the chief down there, and there's not much of a relationship at all. And I'm really happy about the other two relationships because in all reality, we're all on the same team. We're all serving the same citizens that live in our county. Taxpayers in Harrington are still taxpayers in Dickinson County, and they deserve our attention. They deserve a sheriff's office and a PD that work together, the same way that Chapman and Abilene are working together. So I think we should work to build those relationships, no matter what happened in the past. I think we should work for the betterment of our society together for a common goal.
Thank you. Kalen, what areas of expertise do you believe a sheriff should have, and how do you plan to meet those expectations?
The sheriff should be a well-rounded sheriff, okay? He has deputies, he has his administration that also are there to support him. Expertise, you need to be a good leader. That's one. To be a sheriff is to be a leader of a team, because everybody that works for you is a team. Honesty, you gotta have the honesty to be the sheriff. And your guys that work for you need to be honest too. So, like I said, expertise is not just you, but you need to pick everybody else around you as your employees that are experts in that, because you can't run that whole department by yourself.
This last question goes to all of you. Jared, if you'd start. The sheriff role balances many responsibilities, including managing more than 40 staff members, 30 to 40 inmates, 2 budgets, and a widespread coverage area. Given the many roles and responsibilities required of the Dickinson County Sheriff, how will you handle the intensity and pressures of the position?
I kind of relish the responsibilities and the duties that I have. I usually work from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. regularly through the week. I have meetings after hours. I really want to become involved in the community, so I'll spend time going to different city council meetings at night. But what I've got that really helps me manage it more than anything is the staff that I've surrounded myself with. I've got probably the best undersheriff that money can buy. He's probably the most calming effect on me and our agency. I've got office staff that are unbelievable, that tell me when I'm not doing something right and don't hesitate to correct me and offer their opinions. The greatest thing I can say is I've surrounded myself with great people, and I can't respect them enough for what they do, and I can't thank them enough for what they do.
Kalen.
This question was just asked to me, so I typed out a response on Facebook, and so I'll just read the response. Budgeting and managing 40 employees, I feel a good sheriff needs to surround himself with strong administration. An administration that will tell him right from wrong, and sheriff needs to be able to cooperate with the county commissioners. Because ultimately the county commissioners are the ones that set the budget. Although the sheriff gets to make some of the financial decisions. If you don't have if you don't have a strong relationship with the county commissioners to make sure that your taxpayers' money is being spent wisely, you won't be a sheriff for long.
Lynn?
I agree with both of them on that. I think the key word here is teamwork. I think you gotta surround yourself with good people who know how to do their jobs and are treated fairly and know how to treat people outside of work. I think it all starts with having good people, starts with them being good at home. I think we should take care of our employees and work on those trainings and things and get them in the right state of their life to help serve the community better. I have experience running a business. It is a huge undertaking, the sheriff's office. Many people don't know everything that goes into it. And that's not a responsibility I take lightly, running for sheriff. Every experience I've had in my entire life has led me up to this point. And I've been in stressful situations. I handle those well. It's something I learned and I thrive on. And a good sheriff has to know what he doesn't know and learn to ask questions and adapt and evolve and do all those things and build that team framework so he can be successful.
Thank you. I'm gonna make Jared go first because he and I are the oldest. What of the questions that I asked somebody else, one question would you like to answer that you didn't get a chance to answer? Starting with you, Jared.
And one of the answers, Mr. Robison, is to refer to the crime statistics that the KBI put out. I've also reviewed those statistics and I've compared them to previous administrations. And what I can say pleasantly is overall offenses from when I took office until now are down 25%. That's overall statistics from the KBI. Property crimes are down 30% since I took office. Violent crimes are down 4.76%. Burglaries are down 46%. And thefts are down 25%. I think I have built an administration that really cares about this county, they really care about what they do, and they are focused on bettering this entire community. Again, I surround myself with the best people, and I can't honor them enough for doing what they do for me, and these statistics are attributed directly to them and their efforts. Thank you.
Kalen? What one question I asked somebody else would you like to answer?
I don't recall them. So I think they're all answered fairly good. So I don't have one.
Lynn?
Yes, I'd like to tell you the question about asset forfeiture. I think drug interdiction in a whole serves a good purpose. I think it helps combat our war on drugs, okay? But as far as the asset forfeiture side of things go, so to seize somebody's property in this country, you only need a preponderance of evidence, which is a really low burden of proof. In my opinion, it's lower than it should be. You could seize somebody's money and their property without even arresting them for a crime and charging them with a crime. In my opinion, there should be enough proof to charge them with a crime to be able to seize the property. In my opinion, we already pay enough in taxes. We don't need that kind of overreach at all times. Okay, there's certain situations, of course, where it helps. Now, when we talk about asset forfeiture and how it helps the department and it helps fund things, I believe they seized $103,000 last year. Well, my argument to that is there is room in the budget for that. Jerry turned in $388,000 in 2023. I think we can operate efficiently without the asset forfeiture.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're come to the time for your closing statements. Kalen, we'll let you go first.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody coming out here tonight. My closing statement's very short and sweet. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their busy lives to come out here tonight and listen to each and every one of these candidates. I'll be willing to stick around, and I'm not willing, I will be sticking around. I'll be back here at that back bar table here after the commissioners and everybody get done speaking. do a roundtable. If you have any questions or anything, come ask me. If you don't want to ask me tonight, I'll give you my phone number, give me your phone number, and I'll sit down and have a private meeting with you. So that's the end of my closing statement. Thank you all for coming.
Jerry.
I prepared a 45-minute closing statement, but I'm going to cut it short. I've dedicated more than half of my life to service to the sheriff's office and the citizens of this county. I started as a reserve officer, worked my way up through the ranks, held every position at the sheriff's office. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I'm very proud of my career and my character and what I stand for. I know that I am, out of the three candidates here, the candidate that is best suited to move the sheriff's office forward and continue to build what we're building. I just ask that you give me the opportunity to do that. And if you have any questions about my character, about the budget, about the staff, please let me know. I'm available 24/7, and I will also make myself available after this. All I ask is for your support on August 6th, and that you allow me to help the county keep moving forward. Thank you very much.
Lynn.
I'll start my closing statement by talking about the big thing, experience. And I just want to say that tenure does not equal leadership. Most of the people in this room have probably worked at a job where somebody was there for their entire life. They had all the knowledge in the world, but they weren't necessarily a good leader. I believe I have those core values that make me a good leader. It starts with who you are as a person. The things you learn when you were a kid is what makes you really suited to be a leader. You're a good person. You treat people with kindness, empathy, respect, compassion, all those different things. And I think there's several different things that we need to think about when we're doing our law enforcement. One of those big things was Sir Robert Peel back in 1829 when he started the London Metropolitan Police Department, the father of modern police work. Almost 200 years ago. He said, we have to recognize that the power of police is dependent on public approval of their very existence, their actions and their behavior, and on their ability to secure and maintain the public trust. I vow to always work tirelessly to earn your trust, and I hope you vote for me on August 6th.
You already did it, Rick.
You did it twice. It didn't go so good the first time. My mistake. I was just kidding. So as we finish off, I never progressed very far in the Dickinson County Sheriff's Office. I started off as a reserve, but served 22 years there. And I think as a note to the crowd, we have always had good law enforcement in Dickinson County. I'm happy to see 3 candidates running for sheriff because it means they care enough about law enforcement in Dickinson County to put their personal reputations on the line and sit before you tonight and answer questions, and that's a good thing. The essential element of government is being willing to answer to the taxpayer. So I would urge you all to meet with these gentlemen after we're done tonight in private sessions and ask them all the questions you really wanted to ask. That's what they're here for. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll take a 5-minute break and get these county commissioners in the hot seat.